I have one serious question for you. Stop for a second, because maybe discipline is what you need to change your whole life. People wait years for motivation. They wake up, procrastinate, make excuses, and stay in the same place. But rich people don't wait. They train. Every day, even when they don't feel like it, when it's hard, when no one is watching. Because discipline is what separates winners from dreamers. In this audiobook, Discipline Makes You Rich, you'll hear how those who don't seek inspiration think. They create it. How they turn habit into strength and strength into lasting results. Because true luxury isn't money. It's the ability to force yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Chapter 1. The Price of Freedom. Everyone wants freedom, but few are willing to pay for it. The rich don't buy freedom with money. They buy it with discipline. You can't be free if you can't control yourself. You can't lead others if you can't lead your own mind. Discipline is the currency that buys freedom, and most people are broke. This audiobook isn't about motivation. It's about training your inner commander, because rich people don't wait for the right mood. They train for the right mindset. Welcome to Discipline Makes You Rich. Rich people don't wait. They train. The truth about why self-discipline is the greatest wealth-building skill on earth. You see, money doesn't make you rich. Habits do. And every rich habit begins with one quiet decision. Do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Chapter 2. Discipline is self-respect. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's punishment, restriction, suffering. But true discipline isn't about control. It's about care. Self-discipline is self-respect in motion. When you keep your promises to yourself, you earn your own trust. And the more you trust yourself, the more unstoppable you become. Think about it. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you chip away at your own power. But every time you follow through, even once, you rebuild belief. That's how rich people think. They don't wait for motivation. They trust their training. You don't need more motivation. You need more momentum. And discipline creates it, one small win at a time, because the goal isn't to feel ready. The goal is to act even when you don't. Chapter 3. The War Inside Your Mind. There are two voices in every person. One whispers, "You deserve a break." The other whispers, "You said you'd do it." Every day, those two voices battle for your future. The poor obey the first voice. The rich obey the second. Because here's the truth. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about dominance. Dominance over impulse, over laziness, over fear. The war for success isn't fought in boardrooms. It's fought in your head every morning. When the alarm rings, the war begins. When temptation calls, the war begins. When excuses whisper, the war begins. Winners train to win that war before the world wakes up. That's why the rich rise early, not because of the clock, but because the first victory of the day belongs to the disciplined. Chapter 4. The habit loop of the elite discipline is not a random act. It's a loop. Every rich performer, athlete, entrepreneur, creator runs the same pattern daily. 1. Commit. Make a non-negotiable decision. 2. Act. Do the work, even small. 3. Reward. Feel pride, not pleasure. 4. Repeat. Repetition builds identity. The poor break the loop halfway. They commit, but never act. The average complete the action, but forget the reward. The elite finish the loop until it becomes automatic. That's how habits form, through repetition wrapped in self-respect. Remember, discipline is doing the thing long enough for it to stop being a thing. It's brushing your teeth, writing the next line, sending that extra email, until it's who you are, not what you do. Chapter 5. Train like a winner. Let's talk training, because the rich treat discipline like a muscle, not a mood. The broke wait to feel disciplined. The rich train discipline through repetition, pain, and pattern. They use discomfort as a gym for the mind. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by facing it strategically. Discipline grows in discomfort. Avoid pain, and you avoid power. Start small. Take the cold shower. Wake up without the snooze. Finish the task before the distraction wins. Each act of discipline builds proof. Proof becomes confidence. Confidence becomes identity. That's the secret. The rich don't force discipline. They become discipline. Chapter 6. The cost of waiting. Let's expose the quiet killer of potential, waiting. How many dreams died waiting for the perfect plan? How many opportunities slipped through because someone said, "I'll start tomorrow"? The rich don't wait. They act, then adjust. They understand that momentum creates clarity, not the other way around. You can fix a moving train. You can't steer a parked car. Discipline means moving forward while you figure it out, not because it's easy, but because waiting is harder. Every day you delay your discipline, you teach your brain that comfort is acceptable, and the brain learns fast. If you keep waiting, you become a professional procrastinator. If you keep training, you become a professional winner. Chapter 7. The Formula of the 1%. The rich are not smarter. They're not luckier. They're simply more consistent. They follow a simple formula. Discipline X time. Quark mastery. It's not glamorous, but it's undefeated. While others chase new hacks, the disciplined repeat the fundamentals. They build wealth the same way they build muscle, through tension, time, and rest. Discipline is how small habits turn into massive impact, how small savings become fortunes, how small wins become empires. It's not magic, it's math, multiplied by willpower. Chapter 8. Self-trust is your greatest investment. Every decision you keep is an investment in self-trust. Every excuse is a withdrawal. When you stop trusting yourself, you'll start depending on others. That's why the poor need motivation and the rich create it. When you trust your own word, you become unstoppable. The most powerful person isn't the one with money, it's the one who knows they'll follow through, no matter what. Self-trust is the foundation of freedom. It's what allows you to take risks, dream big, and act fast, because you know you won't let yourself down. You want to be rich? Train your self-trust first. Money follows discipline, not dreams. Chapter 9. From motivation to mechanism. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is mechanical. You don't rise to your motivation, you fall to your training. The rich design mechanisms that remove emotion from execution. They plan their mornings the night before. They block distractions before they appear. They schedule discipline so it doesn't depend on mood. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Once the system is built, success becomes boring, and that's exactly the goal. Predictable, repeatable excellence. If your discipline feels automatic, congratulations. You've entered the 1%. Chapter 10. The first principle of rich discipline. Here's where everything begins. To get rich, you must first respect time, because every wasted minute is money in reverse. The rich train their time like a weapon. precise, efficient, intentional. Every hour is a soldier serving a purpose, and discipline is the general that commands them. If you can't manage your time, you'll never manage your wealth. Your time either multiplies or evaporates, depending on your discipline. And that's why the rich don't wait for opportunities. They create them, minute by minute, decision by decision. You are now stepping into the world of real wealth psychology, not motivation, training. In the next part, we'll dive into how to build unbreakable consistency, conquer procrastination, and design a millionaire's morning discipline routine that programs success into your day before it even begins. Because in the world of the rich, every habit is an investment, and discipline is the compound interest. Chapter 11. Consistency is greater than intensity. The broke work in bursts. The rich work in patterns. Intensity burns hot. Consistency builds empires. 1 hour a day for a year beats 10 hours once a month. You see, most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year of disciplined work. Consistency isn't sexy. It's repetitive, quiet, almost boring. But that's why it's powerful. Discipline thrives on routine, not adrenaline. It's showing up even when the excitement is gone. Because you've committed to the process, not the feeling. That's how wealth is built. Not in explosions, but in bricks. One habit stacked on another until the wall of success can't fall. So stop chasing intensity. Start building consistency. Because one drop of water doesn't break the rock. 1,000,000 do. Chapter 12. The Power of Micro-Habits. If you want to transform your life, don't start big. Start tiny. Massive success comes from microscopic control. Small disciplines repeated daily lead to giant victories. The rich understand something the poor ignore. That greatness is granular. It's not one grand act of willpower. It's 1,000 small ones. Brushing your teeth, saving 10%, reading 10 pages, meditating for 10 minutes. It all compounds. That's how discipline becomes identity. Because identity is not declared. It's demonstrated. When you choose discipline in small decisions, you train your brain to believe, this is who I am. You're not pretending anymore. You're proving. And once your mind believes it, your habits will obey it. Friend, write your opinion on this topic in the comments. Do you agree with us or not? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Chapter 13. How to Conquer Procrastination. Let's address the silent killer of ambition, procrastination. It's not laziness. It's fear disguised as logic. Procrastination isn't about time management. It's about self-doubt. You delay action because you fear imperfection. You want to be certain before you start. But certainty is earned, not given. The rich know that waiting for clarity is the fastest way to lose momentum. So they act first, learn faster, and adjust in motion. Action builds confidence. Inaction builds anxiety. Want to beat procrastination? Lower the entry point. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for started. 5 minutes of work beats 5 hours of planning. Start ugly, start scared, start now. Because momentum loves movement, not excuses. Chapter 14. The Discipline of Early Waking. It's not about waking up early. It's about waking up on purpose. When you wake early, you train your brain to lead, not react. The world is quiet. Distractions sleep. That's when discipline is loudest. Remember, winners rise before the world demands something from them. The first hour of your day is sacred. It decides the next 23. Don't open your phone. Open your mind. Don't react to notifications. Create direction. The rich treat the morning like a meeting with their future, and they never miss it. Even if it's only 1 hour of silence, solitude, or self-work, that's how discipline compounds into dominance. Chapter 15. Pain is a teacher. Discipline isn't built in comfort. It's built in discomfort, in the gym, in failure, in repetition, in saying no when everyone says yes. Pain is the tuition of discipline. Everyone wants the degree, but few want to pay. The poor avoid pain and stay stuck. The rich study pain and grow strong. They don't see struggle as punishment. They see it as feedback. Every challenge is a classroom. Every failure, a professor. Discipline means facing the pain long enough to learn what it's teaching you. So, when you feel that resistance, when it hurts to wake up, when it burns to push further, remember, this is the workout of your will, and no muscle grows without tension. Chapter 16. Emotional control, the hidden discipline. Most people lose not because they lack skill, but because they lose control of their emotions. Anger, fear, doubt. These are the true thieves of fortune. Discipline isn't just about what you do. It's about what you don't let control you. The rich don't react. They respond. They train their emotions to serve their strategy. If the market crashes, they stay calm. If criticism comes, they stay grounded. If opportunity knocks, they stay ready, not reckless. That's the discipline of emotional regulation, because power belongs to those who stay centered when everyone else is shaking. Train your calm, because chaos is expensive. Chapter 17. The Law of Compound Discipline. Every act of discipline has a hidden return. Compound interest. You may not see it today, but it's working behind the scenes. Each workout adds invisible energy. Each hour of study sharpens your unseen edge. Each moment of patience prevents a future regret. Discipline doesn't pay immediately. It pays exponentially. And that's where most people fail. They quit before the compounding begins. You won't see the result for weeks, months, maybe years. But then one day, you'll wake up in the life that discipline built quietly while you weren't looking. That's not luck. That's accumulation. Stay consistent long enough, and life will have no choice but to pay you interest. Chapter 18. The Mindset of Training. Rich people see every situation as training. An argument, training your patience. A delay, training your endurance. A failure, training your wisdom. Remember, discipline is not a task. It's a perspective. Once you start seeing life as a gym, you stop taking failure personally and start taking it professionally. The world becomes your dojo. Every obstacle, every rejection, every temptation, just another rep. And that's what makes the rich unstoppable. Because while others get tired of training, they've made training their life. Chapter 19. Environment builds discipline. Here's the truth. You don't rise above your environment. You adapt to it. Discipline is easier when your surroundings are aligned with your goals. If your fridge is full of junk, your discipline will starve. If your phone is full of distractions, your focus will scatter. If your circle is full of complainers, your standards will drop. The rich design their environment like a strategy. Every object, every relationship, every schedule serves their purpose. They make the right choice, the easy choice. And that's how discipline becomes automatic. So clean your environment, curate your inputs, protect your peace. Because discipline doesn't just come from within, It grows from around. Dear friend, you are definitely on the right track if you are watching this video. Like, subscribe, and write in the comments which topic or problem concerns you the most. We promise to prepare a professional video explanation at your request. Chapter 20. The 3 Rules of Rich Discipline. 1. Start small. Big dreams begin with small consistency. 2. Stay patient. Growth takes time. Impatience is poverty in disguise. 3. Never negotiate with your excuses. Excuses are expensive. Discipline is a discount on your future. The rich don't negotiate with weakness. They don't let moods manage missions. They know every day they follow the plan. They're buying equity in their future. Because discipline is not punishment. It's partnership. You and your goals, walking in agreement. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the strategies the rich use to sustain discipline under pressure. How they train when motivation fades, how they structure their days for efficiency, and how they turn willpower into automatic behavior. Because if motivation fades, systems remain, and systems are how discipline builds dynasties. Chapter 21. Discipline under pressure. Anyone can be disciplined when life is calm. The real test comes when chaos hits, when nothing goes as planned, when emotions run high, when comfort calls louder than goals. That's where the rich separate from the rest. Discipline isn't built when it's easy. It's revealed when it's hard. When things get tough, most people fall back on their feelings. The disciplined fall back on their standards. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" They ask, "What did I commit to?" Pressure doesn't destroy the disciplined, it refines them. It burns away weakness and exposes strength. Remember this: if you can perform when everything is going wrong, you'll own the world when things go right. That's why rich people train under stress. They rehearse excellence in the dark so they don't crumble when the lights come on. Chapter 22. Structure is freedom. Most people think structure limits them, but to the rich, structure liberates them. A structured life isn't boring, it's efficient. It creates space for creativity, peace, and growth. Structure doesn't cage you, it carries you. When your schedule has purpose, your mind has peace. When your tasks are organized, your energy multiplies. The rich don't guess what to do each day, and they've already decided the night before. Their calendars are more powerful than their moods. They've built systems that remove decision fatigue, because the fewer choices you waste on nonsense, the more focus you have for what matters. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from mastering what you must. Chapter 23. Systems beat willpower. Here's the truth. Even the most disciplined people run out of willpower. That's why they don't rely on it. They rely on systems. Discipline is strong. Systems are stronger. The rich automate discipline. They design environments that make good habits effortless and bad habits impossible. They know willpower is a muscle that tires, so they save it for what matters most. For example, they automate savings, so they never have to decide to invest. They schedule workouts instead of hoping to feel like training. They block distractions before the day even starts. When your system supports your goals, discipline becomes automatic. You're no longer fighting yourself. You're guided by structure. If you want millionaire discipline, build millionaire systems. Chapter 24. The Discipline of Focus. We live in the noisiest time in human history. Every second, something is fighting for your attention. But focus is a weapon, and the rich sharpen it daily. Discipline is choosing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. The poor chase every shiny object. The rich double down on one direction. They understand that energy without focus is chaos. But focus, even without perfection, creates progress. Focus is saying no. No to distractions. No to gossip. No to urgency that doesn't matter. If you can say no to what drains you, you'll have the energy to say yes to what builds you. And that's the real power of discipline. It filters your life through purpose. Chapter 25, Training Your Energy. Discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about how you manage energy. The rich don't waste energy on negativity, comparison, or chaos. They channel it into creation. Remember, energy is the real currency of achievement. Every decision, every emotion, every distraction, they all cost energy. So the disciplined become selective investors. They rest when they must. They recharge deliberately. They move their body, eat strategically, and guard their peace. Because when energy flows, productivity grows. You can't be disciplined if you're depleted. You can't create abundance from exhaustion. So take care of the machine. Your energy is your economy. Chapter 26, Mental Endurance. The rich don't just train their bodies, they condition their minds. Mental endurance is the ability to stay committed long after motivation dies. Anyone can start. Few can stay. That's what makes endurance the rarest form of discipline. The rich see boredom and repetition as signals of progress, not punishment, because repetition is the rhythm of mastery. When others quit because they're tired, the disciplined keep going because they're trained. They understand the game isn't about intensity, it's about staying power. You don't win because you're the smartest or fastest. You win because you last. And every day you show up when you don't feel like it, you increase your mental endurance until consistency becomes your default mode. Chapter 27, Discipline and Decision-Making. You know what's expensive? Indecision. Every time you hesitate, opportunities evaporate. Indecision is the tax the undisciplined pay to the decisive. The rich don't always make perfect decisions, but they make them quickly and correct them in motion. They trust their judgment because they've trained it. Decision-making is a skill, and discipline is what makes it precise. When you're consistent in small things, you gain clarity in big ones. You stop needing reassurance because you learn to trust your own evidence. A disciplined mind is decisive. A decisive mind is dangerous. Chapter 28, The Cost of Underestimating Time. The poor spend time like it's endless. The rich invest time like it's borrowed. Every day you waste is a withdrawal from your potential. And no one gets a refund. Discipline is the art of respecting time before it disrespects you. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It keeps moving. You can either move with it or look back one day realizing it outran you. The rich measure their lives in outcomes, not hours. Because an hour of focus is worth more than a week of distraction. So stop counting days and start making days count. Chapter 29, The Weight of Promises. Discipline means your word means something. The poor make promises. The rich keep them. When you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, and you don't, you weaken your own credibility. And without credibility, discipline collapses. But when you keep promises, even small ones, you create an unshakable inner contract. Your brain starts believing, when I say something, I'd do it. That's the mindset that builds wealth. Because trust with yourself and others is the foundation of opportunity. Discipline begins with promises. Wealth begins with trust. Chapter 30. The mindset of long-term thinking. The poor think in days. The rich think in decades. That's not luck. That's discipline of perspective. The longer your timeline, the larger your results. Discipline trains you to see past instant gratification. It's what allows you to suffer short-term discomfort for long-term dominance. While others quit for quick rewards, the rich delay pleasure until results demand it. Because they know you can't have both comfort and greatness. You must choose one. And discipline helps you live with your choice. Long-term thinking is emotional control in disguise. And those who master it control time, money, and destiny. In the next part, we'll break down the discipline rituals of high performers, the daily non-negotiables that keep them sharp, creative, and consistent even when life gets hard. Because if you can build the right rituals, you can build the right reality. Chapter 31. Morning Rituals of the 1%. Success begins before sunrise, not because of the clock, but because of control. The rich don't wake up to react. They wake up to create. The first hour of your day decides the quality of the next 23. The undisciplined start their day in chaos, checking messages, rushing, reacting. The disciplined begin in silence, reflecting, planning, strengthening. They guard that morning hour like a fortress. It's where they win the day before it begins. Their routine is sacred. Movement to energize the body. Stillness to focus the mind. Planning to command the day. No noise, no news, no notifications, just clarity and control. When you own your morning, you own your life. Because that first decision, to rise with purpose, sets the tone for everything that follows. Chapter 32. Night, Rituals of the Elite Discipline, doesn't end when the sun sets. The rich close their day intentionally. Remember, winners don't go to sleep exhausted. They go to sleep aligned. The undisciplined drift into bed, their mind cluttered with unfinished tasks and mental noise. The disciplined end the day with a ritual of reflection and reset. Before they rest, they review what went right today, what needs improvement tomorrow, what am I grateful for now. That simple routine rewires the brain for progress and peace. It teaches the mind, today mattered, tomorrow will too. And when you sleep with intention, you wake with direction. Discipline doesn't just build wealth, it builds peace of mind. Dear viewer, please write in the comments what interested you most in the video. This will help us improve our videos. Chapter 33. The Rule of Non-Negotiables. Every rich performer lives by this. There are things I simply do, no matter what. These are the non-negotiables. No matter how tired, how busy, how uninspired, these few things always happen. It could be exercise, reading, planning, gratitude journaling, time with family. These are not goals. They're rules. The undisciplined live by emotion. The disciplined live by standard. And when your life has standards, your results become consistent, even when your mood doesn't. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. Chapter 34. Guarding your focus. In a world of distractions, focus is wealth. Attention is the new currency. Spend it wisely. Every notification, every pointless scroll, every idle conversation, it costs you energy. The rich guard their focus like their fortune because they understand that where attention goes, results grow. They use simple rules: silence the noise, schedule the deep work, say no often. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. Focus is fragile. Once broken, it takes time to rebuild. Discipline means protecting it fiercely, unapologetically, because every minute you protect your focus is a minute you multiply your future. Chapter 35, Training Through Failure. Failure doesn't destroy the disciplined, it trains them. Every loss has a lesson, every setback has a system. Most people fear failure because they think it defines them. But to the disciplined, failure is simply feedback. The poor take it personally. The rich take it professionally. Every mistake is data. Every setback is strategy. They don't ask, why me? They ask, what can I improve? That mindset turns every fall into a forward step. Because discipline isn't perfection, it's persistence. You fail, you learn, you adapt, you advance. That's the rhythm of resilience. And those who master it never truly lose. Chapter 36, Self-Discipline versus External Control. The undisciplined need rules. The disciplined become rules. If you can't control yourself, someone else will. Think about it. Your job controls you, your habits control you, your bills control you until you take control. The rich live by internal order, so they don't need external enforcement. They've trained their mind to manage their impulses, their emotions, their time, because freedom doesn't come from breaking rules. It comes from mastering them. The most powerful person isn't the one with no boundaries. It's the one who sets their own and lives by them. That's self-government. That's sovereignty. And that's the real definition of success. Chapter 37, Why Comfort is Dangerous. Comfort feels like safety, but it's really slow death. Remember, comfort kills more dreams than failure ever could. The rich know that growth and comfort cannot coexist. That's why they seek discomfort deliberately. They chase challenge. They crave difficulty. They live in controlled pressure because they know diamonds are made that way. Every level of success demands a new version of you, and that new version can't be born in comfort. So the next time life gets hard, don't run. Recognize it. This is training. Discomfort is the gym of destiny, and discipline is how you keep showing up to lift the weight. Chapter 38, The Discipline of Delayed Gratification. Want to know one of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor? Timing. The poor spend first, plan later. The rich plan first, spend later. Discipline is trading short-term pleasure for long-term power. They've mastered the art of delayed gratification, resisting today's impulse for tomorrow's impact. That's how investments grow. That's how empires are built. That's how legacies last. The undisciplined live for dopamine. The disciplined live for dividends. Every time you delay gratification, you build psychological strength, the muscle of wealth. It's not just about money, it's about mindset. Because if you can control your impulses, you can control your income. Chapter 39, The Discipline of Silence. The rich know when to speak and when to stay silent. Discipline isn't just action, it's restraint. They don't waste words trying to prove their worth. They let results speak for them. They understand that silence builds mystique, and mystique builds respect. They listen more than they talk. They observe before they react. They respond with strategy, not emotion. The undisciplined speak to fill space. The disciplined speak to fill purpose. Because every word carries weight, and those who use it wisely carry power. Please like and subscribe if you want a better future for your children, your family, and yourself. It's very difficult to achieve success today, but I'm sure you'll succeed. All you have to do is learn and discover new things. Chapter 40. The Rich Person's Response to Criticism. Criticism crushes the weak but polishes the strong. Discipline is hearing truth without losing composure. The rich don't fear criticism. They filter it. They ask, is it true? Can it help me grow? If yes, they adjust. If not, they ignore it. They don't let opinions shake their foundation. They're too focused on execution to argue with noise. Because in the end, success silences critics. You can't control what people say, but you can control how you respond. And that response defines your level of discipline. In the next part, we'll explore how discipline multiplies wealth, why it's the bridge between ambition and abundance, and how mastering your habits can shift your financial destiny. Because self-control doesn't just make you strong, it makes you rich. Chapter 41. Discipline creates wealth. Money is not created by luck. It's created by consistency. Wealth isn't built in one move. It's built in one mindset. The rich don't have more hours in a day. They just use their hours differently. They don't chase every idea. They commit to one and master it. They don't spend every dollar. They invest most of it. They don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. Discipline turns income into assets. It turns effort into equity. It turns potential into proof. Because money doesn't grow for the smartest person. It grows for the most consistent one. Every budget, every routine, every investment habit, these are just the fingerprints of discipline on wealth. The undisciplined spend to feel rich. The disciplined build to become rich. Chapter 42. The Habit Loop of Riches. Every rich person has a loop, a repeatable pattern that builds results automatically. Here's how it works. 1. Cue, the trigger that reminds them of their goal. 2. Routine, the action they take immediately. 3. Reward, the satisfaction that reinforces the habit. You don't need motivation when your habits run the program. Discipline is about designing these loops intentionally. For example, cue, alarm goes off. Routine, journal and plan the day. Reward, calm and clarity. Cue, payday, routine. Automate investment, reward, growing wealth. The poor rely on emotion. The rich rely on automation. Every time a good habit repeats, discipline gets stronger and wealth gets easier. Chapter 43. The Habit of Tracking. You can't manage what you don't measure. Wealth hides in what you track. The rich track everything: time, energy, money, habits. They know exactly where their focus goes, where their cash flows, and where their productivity grows. Because data is clarity, and clarity is power. When you start tracking your progress, you expose the truth. You see where you're losing energy. You see where you're wasting time. You see where small leaks drain big dreams. The disciplined don't fear numbers, they fix them. Because what gets tracked improves, and what gets ignored disappears. Chapter 44. The Wealth of Time. The most successful people in the world all share one belief: time is wealth. Money comes and goes. Time only goes. You can lose a fortune and rebuild it, but you'll never rebuild a wasted year. The rich understand opportunity cost. They know that saying yes to the wrong thing is saying no to the right one. That's why they protect their time like treasure. They delegate, they automate, they eliminate. They use discipline to prioritize what pays them back. Because while others are spending hours on entertainment, the rich are investing hours in expansion. Time is the invisible currency of wealth, and discipline is the wallet that holds it. Chapter 45, The Discipline of Saving. Discipline is not just earning more, it's keeping more. Wealth doesn't come from income, it comes from control. The poor save what's left after spending. The rich spend what's left after saving. It's a mindset of order, not restriction. They treat every dollar like an employee. Each one has a job to grow, multiply, and bring friends back. That's the real difference. The disciplined know that saving isn't about being cheap. It's about being strategic. Because when opportunity knocks, only the disciplined have the capital to answer. And remember, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how effectively you deploy it. Chapter 46, The Discipline of Investing. The rich don't save forever. They invest wisely. Discipline is the bridge between money earned and money multiplied. Investing isn't gambling. It's controlled patience. The undisciplined want fast returns. The rich want predictable growth. They study, they learn, they wait, because they understand compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. Discipline in investing is not reacting to emotion. It's staying calm when the market screams chaos. Every investor who panics sells potential. Every disciplined one buys it. The real wealth comes not from chasing excitement, but from mastering boredom. That's how fortunes form, quietly, patiently, predictably. Chapter 47, The Habit of Learning. Discipline without learning leads to stagnation. That's why the rich never stop studying. Remember, education is an expense for the poor. It's an investment for the rich. They treat every day like a classroom. They learn from books, mentors, experiences, and even failure, because they know the mind is a machine, and discipline is what oils it. The poor see learning as optional. The rich see it as oxygen. They schedule it like a meeting. They take notes like students. They apply lessons like professionals. Every skill learned expands earning potential. Every concept mastered compounds advantage. Discipline feeds learning, and learning fuels wealth. Chapter 48, Financial Discipline in Action. Let's break down the millionaire mindset in real motion. 1. Earn with focus. Don't chase 10 income streams. Master 1. 2. Save with purpose. Every dollar has a destination. 3. Invest with patience. Don't react. Reinvest. 4. Spend with awareness. Buy assets, not attention. 5. Grow with gratitude. Wealth without peace is still poverty. Discipline turns chaos into capital. The rich aren't lucky. They're literate in their own behavior. They understand that financial freedom isn't found in a bank account. It's found in habits that repeat without emotion. When your spending obeys your goals and your money moves with your mission, that's when discipline becomes wealth. Chapter 49, Self-Respect and Self-Control. Discipline is a form of self-respect. You don't need others to take you seriously when you take yourself seriously first. The poor break promises to themselves and call it self-care. The rich keep promises to themselves and call it character. When you respect your time, you stop wasting it. When you respect your money, you stop mismanaging it. When you respect your word, you stop lying to your future. That's the connection between discipline and dignity. You can't build wealth on self-betrayal. Every choice either strengthens your self-trust or weakens it. And the stronger that trust becomes, the stronger your results follow. Chapter 50. The discipline of purpose. Without purpose, discipline dies. When your why is weak, your will fades fast. The rich aren't disciplined just for money. They're disciplined because they serve a mission. Money is fuel, not fulfillment. Their discipline comes from vision, from knowing what kind of impact they want to leave. That's why they don't burn out, because their goals aren't just personal, they're principled. Purpose gives pain meaning. Meaning makes effort bearable, and effort compounds into legacy. When your discipline is anchored in purpose, no storm can move you. You don't just survive success, you sustain it. In the next part, we'll explore how discipline becomes identity, how repetition rewires your brain, and how living with standards transforms not just your habits, but your destiny. Because when discipline stops being something you do and becomes something you are, you become unstoppable. Chapter 51. When discipline becomes identity. At first, discipline feels forced. It feels like work, like friction, like sacrifice. But something changes with time. Repetition rewires your reality. The habits that once felt heavy begin to feel natural, and what once required effort now defines your existence. This is the moment discipline turns into identity. You no longer need to try to wake up early. You just do. You no longer need to force consistency. It's who you are. You shifted from acting disciplined to being disciplined. And when it becomes who you are, there's no negotiation, no debate, no delay. Because you've burned the bridge back to mediocrity. Chapter 52. The Psychology of Consistency. Human beings crave alignment. We want our actions to match our identity. So once you see yourself as disciplined, you'll fight to stay that way. Remember, identity creates consistency. Consistency creates credibility. Every small win becomes evidence that reinforces who you are. Every kept promise strengthens your belief in your strength. And belief compounds faster than interest. That's why the rich keep winning. They've built consistency not on willpower, but on self-concept. They don't ask, can I? They affirm, I do. And because they expect discipline from themselves, their behavior never betrays that belief. This is how wealth becomes predictable, when consistency becomes automatic. If you appreciate our efforts and our thoughts, subscribe and like this video. We need to show the world that there are many people like us. We must always continue to improve. Chapter 53. Building a New Self-Concept. If you've spent years being inconsistent, don't punish yourself. You can rebuild your identity, one choice at a time. You can't hate the old you into becoming the new you. You must train them. Start small. Stack wins. Keep promises, no matter how minor. Because self-trust is built the same way wealth is built, through consistent deposits. Every time you follow through, you make a payment toward your new identity. And one day, you'll wake up and realize the old version of you no longer fits. That's when you know discipline has done its job. Chapter 54. Environments of Excellence. Discipline thrives in the right environment. You can't plant the seed of success in the soil of distraction. The rich are intentional about where they live, who they surround themselves with, and what energy they allow near them. They know that proximity is power, and energy is contagious. If you hang around undisciplined people, you'll begin to normalize mediocrity. If you surround yourself with accountability and ambition, you'll rise to meet it. That's why winners form circles, not cliques, but councils of consistency. Because discipline grows faster when you're not the only one watering it. Chapter 55, Killing Procrastination Forever. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's fear disguised as logic. The undisciplined wait for the right time, the disciplined make it right. We procrastinate because our brain seeks safety, not success. But safety never built a legacy. The disciplined break the pattern with momentum. They move before they feel ready. They act before they overthink. They've trained themselves to equate movement with progress, not perfection. And that's the secret. Action kills anxiety. The moment you start, the fear loses its voice. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need the courage to take the next step and the discipline to keep walking. Chapter 56, The Final Lesson. At the beginning of this audiobook, you learned that discipline is not punishment, it's power. Now, you understand why. Because every form of wealth, financial, emotional, spiritual, or relational, is rooted in your ability to control yourself. The poor wait for inspiration, the rich train for it, the poor spend for pleasure, the rich invest for purpose, the poor chase shortcuts, the rich master systems. That's the difference. And now that difference belongs to you. Chapter 69, Your Next Move. When this audio ends, you'll have a choice to listen again or to live it. Discipline doesn't start tomorrow. It starts now. Write down one thing you'll commit to, not 5, just 1. And then keep that promise every day, no matter what. That's how transformation starts. That's how wealth begins. Because it's not the intensity of one act that changes your life. It's the consistency of the next 1,000. So begin and don't stop. Because the person you're becoming is already waiting on the other side of your discipline. Chapter 70, Closing Reflection. Discipline is the language of destiny. It's how ordinary people speak to extraordinary futures. It's not loud. It's not glamorous, but it's unshakable. If this message spoke to you, share it, revisit it, repeat it until it becomes part of your rhythm. Because every time you hear it, you're reminding yourself of one truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And when consistency becomes your creed, wealth, peace, and purpose will follow. Remember, the rich don't wait. They train. So train your mind, discipline your habits, and watch your life multiply. If this resonated with you, comment the line that hit you hardest. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and never forget, discipline makes you rich. Thank you for watching. Wish you all the best.